Hello and welcome to our first monthly video, which takes a deep dive into the national property market and comparing it to what we're experiencing locally. We're looking at national trends, what's happening on a more local level and how that affects you and your property. Often when we look at what the property market's doing, we will quote the Land Registry or Halifax or Nationwide, their property indexes, which are great tools, but they're also somewhat out of date. Nationwide and Halifax are usually sort of 3-4 months out of date. It's based on information 3 or 4 months ago, whereas the Land Registry is even longer, it's sort of 6 to 9 months. So what we've done with our knowledge on local level, plus our national links, is we've looked at a more recent snapshot of the market. So the week we're looking at now is the last week of March. So it's Monday the 25th of March to the 31st of March, so around about that Easter period, and looking at what we've seen on a national level and what we're seeing locally, and seeing if there's any comparisons between the two. So during that period, nationally, we brought 17% more properties to the market than we typically would on that week. So over an 8-year period that's taken, there have been 70% more properties available to buy. So if you're a buyer, that's great news. That's 30,000 more properties coming to the market than normally would do. Locally, it's not quite as exciting as that, but there have been a good amount of new properties coming available. We saw 10 new homes come to the market in Keynsham alone. So 10 new properties, if you're looking to buy, that you could buy that you couldn't have bought at the beginning of the week. Sales have been good as well. Nationally, they have been 9% higher for that week than they would be typically. Locally, we've seen 6 new sales, so there's about 100 properties available to buy in Keynsham I'm looking at, and 6 of those sold, so around about 6% of properties available. So not huge numbers, but it's a steady flow. We'd usually expect a few more than those to have sold for that amount of choice. And this is all agents. This isn't just Davis and Way. This is the whole of the market. However, what we did see is this time period takes into account Easter weekend, Easter break, school holidays, and things like that. And what we've seen is lots of people look to bring their properties for the market now that the clocks have changed and the sun is beginning to shine, and we've seen the website hits have really rocketed up over the last couple of weeks, where people who are on school holidays have decided to look for houses to buy. Locally, the average property on the market on Rightmove at the moment is receiving 70 unique views on it per day. So if you are on the market at the moment for sale, it's a great time. We're going to have 70 new people look at you every day on average, which is really good, and those views will then result into inquiries, and then in turn will result to viewing, sales, and get people moved. So sales are lagging slightly behind properties to buy, or new properties to buy, but I think that's more down to the timing of the Easter period, the bank holidays, and I'd imagine as we get towards the end of the year and when we speak to you next month, that we'd see that level will increase. We've had a few reductions. 3% of those properties that are on the market at the moment have reduced in price. Typically that's either a slower market, or perhaps the property didn't and get the level of interest they anticipated, and we will see sellers across the board will look to realign their price to make their property more attractive. 3% is pretty good. Nationally, that's somewhere between 16 to 17%. So 16 to 17% of properties on the market, they are having their prices reduced, where we're seeing locally only 3%. So that's shown that agents are pricing correctly. So well done all those agents out there, and also that there's strong demand at the minute. That the Keynsham, Salford, surrounding areas, people want to be here, and they will pay what they feel is a fair price. So that's just a brief snapshot of the market, how we're seeing it. What we'll do is we'll keep bringing you just these bite-sized little updates each month to let you know how it compares as the market moves on. We've got things like elections to look forward to this year. How will that affect the national market, and how does that affect us locally and our own homes as well? So if you have any questions or you'd like anything for me to discuss on next month's edition, please feel free to email us. It's keynsham@davisonway.com. Call us on 01179 863681 or pop into one of our offices. We'd love to have a chat with you, and we can discuss anything that you would you'd like us to run through in more depth. Okay, see you next month.